So success and failure. Success and failure. One is great, one is horrible. And it's weird how much they work together. They're actually, success and failure are so close together. And yet at the same time, complete opposites. One we all want, the other we all try to stay away from and try to pretend like we never, ever, ever experience it. It's quite interesting. How are there ever two things that are so close entwined and yet so different at the same time? So let's start off with conversation. With success, we often say, describe a successful person. To you, what would be a successful person? So for me, it would be someone that is outgoing. Normally I see a very tall or, physically, very powerful person, and they're dressed in a suit, and, they're holding a mic. Always there's a microphone and they're pointing at people. That's like success. Oh, that person is successful. Other people might see someone successful as, living out in the country and having their own estate, their own farm, when they're really healthy and they have their family with them, and they can spend time looking at the amazing view, right? That's success. Look at that success. So, success is subjective. Generally, though, we all feel a certain way about success and what success is and what success isn't. So one question is your idea of success the same as your parents' idea of success? So the idea is maybe your parents might have had a belief or a view of what you should do for success, and maybe yours was different, and that can cause lots of conflict. So it's a great conversation to have, and to, definitely go around the room with each student. Do you think people focus too much on appearing to be successful? This one, I think, I always thought it was very important to, when you go out, to dress a certain way and to look a certain way. I want people to think that I'm successful, and I know some people spend a lot of money on dressing really well. And I think there's a Western view lately that's kind of a waste of time. But I've also had many friends explain to me, in Asia, that when you do dress that way and have certain handbags and shoes, something that's Prada or Gucci, that often will give you other opportunities, that people will say, oh, this person's already doing very well with money, so it's extremely important to represent yourself that way. It depends on your views, but this is definitely a great conversation to have. Why is money the most common way of judging success? So I think a lot of it comes down to money with success, right? We can say someone's very rich, but if they don't have their health and they don't have loved ones around them, then we'd say, well, they're successful, but at what cost? But if we see a guy who's very physically fit, maybe loves his job, but he's poor, we never really think of that person as successful. Someone that has their passion. Usually money is a huge indicator, and I think that's a great way. Sometimes I don't like it. Many times I thought, well, money, whatever. At other times I think, no, let's see it as an energy source, that it does open many doors. So someone that has lots of money has the ability to do great and many things and reach many people, and their opportunities and capabilities are just stretched out and expanded. So money is a key indicator on success, but how much do you want to think about that all the time? And what do you want to exchange to get money? Like all of your time, your stress, your health. Where is the trade-off and how important money is in your life? Great conversation, and everyone has their own views and everyone has their own experiences, with how much they're willing to go after money and the paybacks they've received for that, and maybe sometimes the shortcomings. Very great conversation. Can money buy happiness? Yes. How much pressure do your parents put on you to be successful? How much pressure will you put on your children to be successful? Ooh, that's a great one. How much pressure will you put on your children? I think about this a lot because, my parents didn't put a lot of pressure on me. They were very supportive and loving, and, I came from kind of poverty. And so anything that I did that was, trying to move upwards was always appreciated and encouraged. I was never told that it wasn't enough. It was always good for you, keep going. So I have a lot of great connections to, trying to get to the next level. Where I find other people, they're always never good enough, and they've always been trained by their parents that, their parents meant well, they loved them, but kind of always, like a little laser, saw all the ways that they were screwing up, and this has caused them to have a lot of anxiety and fear around money and success and almost just resenting it altogether. This is a great topic. Failure, next failure. Have there been any failures that made your life better? So definitely I've had lots of failure in my life, but I've also had lots of success because I was willing to take chances. And so to get success, you have to have failure. It's so interchangeable. And yet we, as a society, we shun failure and greatly celebrate success as if they're not one and the same, as if you can't have one without the other. Is there a right time to give up and stop trying, or should you never give up? So if you have a dream, should you stop trying? I think this is really important because sometimes, we want to go for a certain goal and we realize it's not working. And sometimes if we just want to change slightly, or we see that there's another opportunity or there's another pathway that we can excel in, that we should definitely go that way. Not just be so stubborn that there's only one way, especially if people are telling you that they see you doing very well in a different career or industry or position. And if you're trying to hold back from that, I think that's going to cause yourself more pain, right? People can see you from the outside. They can see what you're good at. And it's really important to try to listen to that, as well as listen to your inner voice. But definitely don't be closed-minded about that. Talk about a time you failed at something you tried. Don't talk about anything that will make you uncomfortable or embarrassed. So this is great. This would be a great assignment for students of this class. If we're about to have this class, please think of a time when you failed in a small way or in a large way, but put a good ending on it. How is it? What lesson did you learn from it? How did it make you stronger? What will you do next time differently than you did from before? And how are you feeling about taking the next step to keep going and not focus on the past failure? And can you think of any famous quotes or idioms about success or failure? So, there's so many great ones. I saw one yesterday on the wall by Steve Jobs, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." That might have been Bill Gates. I just failed at that quote. And so, what kind of quotes do you continually say to yourself? And does that help you? All right, let's have that conversation soon. Bye.